Hello, this is the Yemello Dynasty, and I'll be teaching you about how these African lands that was somewhere between the Egyptian time, where there was pyramids, there were also black dynasties. The Yemello Dynasty, their favorite color was yellow. Their god would wear a yellow robe. Let's get into it. The son, Shuman, was very rich. He was a Yemello dynasty member. The son Shuman, very rich, had mass statues of Jade, large as a human person stands tall, and they roamed in great regiments. Young Shu had faith in gods, and I will get into Young Shu in my next segment. Young Shu had faith in gods, and at many times, and any time, he could return to the eternal day of prosperity, and prosperity. And such rumors are true. The Jade believers will be able to afford 100,000 earth mites. They are entrance though, a temple of ageless gods. So this is the Jade. It must be good. Shuman was a Yemello dynasty member. There have been, like this packet says, if the rumors are true, the Jade believers will be able to afford 100,000 earth mites. Earth mites. You can Google what earth mites is. And if you don't know how many 100,000 zeros are in 100,000, you can Google that too. They are ancient though, a temple of great ageless gods. So this is the Jade, it must be good. Now, the son Shuman was very rich and had mass statues of Jade, as large as a human person stands tall. These were not just normal Jade statues. If an African had Jade statues back in Egyptian times, this means most likely that these Jade statues have been destroyed or kept captive in museums. They are possibly in museums and kept secret. The son Shuman was very rich. Now what I will do, as I will do on many of these passages that I have Googled for myself, and for you to see for yourself, I will read this once again. The son Shuman was very rich, had matte statues of Jade, large as a human person stands tall. Shuman was an African. Okay? And I will give you more details on my next YouTube passage from Google. And they roamed in great regiments. Quote, Young Shu had faith, quote, faith in gods, quote, and any time he could return to eternal day of prosperity, and prosperity, quote. If such rumors are true, the Jade believers will be able to afford hundreds of thousands of earth mites, quote. They are entrance though, a temple of ageless gods, exclamation mark. So this is the Jade, it must be good. This means that Jade has been around ever since Egyptian times. Not only Jade, but gold, diamonds, silver, rubies, and the likes. But Jade was somewhat special because I guess what it did was it brought prosperity, as in this Google passage. It says prosperity 3 times. The son Shuman was very rich and had mass statues of Jade, large as a human person stands tall. That is all in dark letters. It's in bold letters. That means this is really what the passage was really trying to talk about. Imagine a Jade statue that stands as tall as a person. These were just not normal Jade statues, and these were owned by the Egyptians that had yellow robes. They had statues, Jade statues that stand as tall as a human stands tall. Shuman had a father, and I will get into that. So let's get into what I want to talk about and explain. Okay, Young Shu, an African, Young Shu an African, who would often wear his hair in a man bun. His African hair would be in a black bun when he walked, so that the top of his head would appear smaller or extended below his shoulder. The result would be that the elephant would wear clothes and earrings and would grow an unkempt patch of mane on top of his ears. This was the false black of the West. On a similar note, if you were to take an elephant that was barely in the wild or Africa and put in modern Taiwan, what they're saying is, once an elephant is put into Taiwan, now you really have what the Yemello dynasty really was. Yemello dynasty was Africans that was also like the Taiwans. Like the color yellow is part of Taiwan and the rest of the Asian culture. Quote, the Yemello dynasty also liked yellow. Young Shu, which was an African name, and this African who would often wear his hair in a man bun. His African hair would be in the back bun when he walked, so that the top of his head would appear smaller or extended below his shoulder. The result would be that the elephant would wear clothes and earrings. So what this means is that if the result that would be the elephant would wear clothes and earrings, this means those images, or you would see images of elephants wearing clothes and earrings. So what I would like for you to do is try to Google and find images of elephants with clothes and earrings, possibly with yellow in the pictures. This was the pictures that the Yemello dynasty and the images the Yemello dynasty seen as a sign of wealth. Not only the color yellow, but jade, diamonds, gold, and gold was also a big member of the Yemello dynasty, because yellow, which resembles gold, and gold resembles yellow. This was the false black of the West. This means that this was a false in the black area of the West. On a similar note, if you were not to take an elephant to the barley in the wild of Africa and put in modern Taiwan. So if you go to Taiwan, will you see elephants? But back in Egypt, what we so-call Taiwan, there was elephants in Taiwan. Or there is elephants in Taiwan, which you may know of. There might not be as many as there was back in the Egyptian days. The past is what creates the future. The past is what's inevitable to the future. And I'll be teaching you more about the Yemello dynasty, an African dynasty. An African dynasty in the Egyptian days. This was back in the previous. I will show you more. Okay, so if you can read this passage, if you have been reading this passage and along with me, you have quite learned a little bit. I will be teaching you more. And thanks for watching. This was the Yemello dynasty. And I will read it once more again. Young Chu, an African who would often wear his hair in a man bun. His African hair would be in a... So basically, this was a little bit about the Yemello dynasty, the African dynasty. Thanks for watching, and I will give you more.